Hey, um, as I've talked about like several times before, this channel, what I do, it's about competitive bold action. That's what I like. That is what I feel I sort of can speak to. Um, that doesn't mean that I think that it's the only thing, um, and it really doesn't mean that I don't respect that other people enjoy other aspects of bold action. Um, And I think that you should find out what it is that you want, and you should communicate clearly when you're going to events about what it is that you can expect from such an event. Now, the Danish Nationals is a national tournament. It's national championships going in to fight for the crown of who is the best Dane. Um, and of course, it's an open tournament, as we've seen other nationals in the UK, and that means that other people might actually be the winner of the tournament, but it will be a Dane who gets to be crowned Danish national champion. So, um, and this also means that some of the lists that we're going to see here are what you might call meta lists. They're really hard lists that try to be competitive in the list building as well, including my own. I think my own list is my best attempt as a very, very hard list. Um, and the list I'm going to review today is also such an attempt at a very, very hard meta list. It doesn't make the player a bad person. It doesn't make him lazy in any regard. It makes him into a competitive player who wants to try out what it means to have the best possible list for this meta, whatever. So, all that aside, this is the list review for Russell Wright. He is bringing a dual Japanese platoon, and Russell has apparently read the newest fact, making the Japanese fanatics almost immune to the effects of flamethrowers. Yes, they will still die, but then because of fanatic, it no longer takes the flea test that they used to do. So fanatic flame. It basically ignores the flamethrower rule, which makes fanatic way better. And 21 order dice. It's also like the high end, so this we can already tell that this is a horde list. And he is bringing the bamboo spearfighters. The list has 2 lieutenants, 2 Kemper-ties. The Kemper-ties are crucial because they mean that he can re-roll those green tests, making it more likely that his bamboo spearfighters will become regular. And then he has 9 units of bamboo spearfighters. 4 of them are 14 men, and 5 of them are 14 men, and 4 of them are full strength 15 men bamboo spearfighters. This is a horde. This is a true horde. It will be difficult for him, just physically difficult for him to play this list because there's so many minis that he needs to move. And of course, I'll get back to this, but it will also be difficult for the opponent because there's so many bodies that you have to get through. There's an inexperienced heavy mortar, an inexperienced mortar, medium mortar, 4 inexperienced suiciders, and 2 inexperienced mountain guns, howitzers, basically. So why all these inexperienced guns? Well, Russell here is copying what we saw Manuel do at the last WTC. He had a horde of inexperienced infantry in front of inexperienced indirect fire, because that indirect fire will not suffer any ill effects for being inexperienced, so you're basically getting it for cheaper. And since you have a horde of infantry in front of your guns, you'll always be firing indirectly anyways. Just take the cheapest ones. Yes, you will miss out on the spotter, but with 4 artillery pieces, 2 mortars, and 2 howitzers, Russell will be able to close down most lanes. He'll be able to fire at most things. So how do you fight against this? And I hope it's okay, Russell, that I'm talking about how to fight against this, because I do this with all the hard lists. I'm going to do this with my own list as well. one thing you need to do is you need to keep a bit of distance to the bamboo spearfighters. Um, if you're getting charged by bamboo spearfighters, you should at least have defensive fire, and you should be able to fight at the same time. So stay in cover and shoot out of that cover, and try to make sure that you are at least at 6+ inches from the bamboo spearfighters, which means that you will get defensive fire when they charge. That is the first thing you need to do. Second thing is, as soon as you whittle down a bamboo unit till it's approximately like 7 men, it becomes very ineffective. They're very scary because they're very big, but as soon as they're half-sized, they're not that scary anymore. 7 inexperienced dudes that can charge you, they won't charge you because most of the time you'll have defensive fire. They will get cut down before they even reach you. So try to do some split fire. And also, if Russell is going to bring up his bamboos, if he's going to advance his bamboos, he's not going down, which is what he needs to do in order to keep the bamboos alive, right? So don't start out by shooting at the bamboos. Go on ambush, and when he moves up, then you shoot him. That's the trick to fighting bamboo warriors. It's on ambush, when he moves, shoot, because then he's not down. If you start out by shooting, he will go down and you will have wasted your shots. So don't do that. What about all that indirect fire? Well, that is Russell's response to you going on ambush. So what you need to do is you need to move every second turn, basically. That's it. Yes, sometimes he will get lucky and roll a 6, but most of the time he'll not. So you stay on ambush 1 turn, he will start shooting in on you. As soon as he starts shooting in on you, next turn, you move. Remember that from ambush, at the end of the turn, you can try and lift the ambush by firing at the end of the turn. You need to roll 4+, but it might still happen. So I would just get out of dodge as soon as you can, as soon as you start firing on you. The final thing I would say is that this list, it will dominate in some scenarios, but maybe not the ones that we're going to play at the Danish Nationals. This is a list that really has difficulties playing envelopment as attackers, and double envelopment also, because it's not very mobile. It's a list that really relies on going down, and it's a list that relies on static artillery pieces. So in those two scenarios, I'm really looking forward to seeing what you'll do, Russell, because I don't know what I would do if I was playing this list. It's a really good list. It's a very interesting experiment to see how this actually does at a tournament where not many people have prepared for this kind of list necessarily. Final thing, Russell is bringing some inexperienced suiciders, right? The suiciders are really, really good. They can really mess up a tank. I think it's 8+ or something like that. So they can mess up almost any tank. But in order to do that, they need to charge. So what tanks should do is to stay outside of 6 inches of a suicider. And if you have suiciders closing in on you, go on ambush. Because if they charge from outside of 6 inches, you'll get defensive fire. Most tanks have 2 machine guns. That suicider is never getting in. And if he's inside 6 inches, if you're on ambush, you still get defensive fire. So remember, a suicider is not a shot. It's not like a Panzerfaust. It's an actual guy charging the tank, and he can get shot down, and I think he should. So, Russell, I hope it was okay. I gave people some pointers. I know you can take it. So I'll see you at the Nationals. I hope I get to face this list. It would be an epic struggle. Right. Cheers. Bye.